like and subscribe for 1000 years of good luck. I'm a Wheel of Fortune champion. I never called an incorrect letter, never had an unlucky spin on the wheel, missed only one toss-up puzzle, and walked away with $113,000 in winnings, $62,000 cash, a new BMW, and a trip to Barbados. Ask me anything. How much tax do you have to pay on all of that? I have to pay federal and state tax on everything, plus local sales tax on the car, as if I had purchased it. I plan to sell the car, although my stated winnings were $113,055. I estimate that I will end up with about $65,000 in usable cash, plus the trip, once all taxes are paid, and the car is sold. $65K after you manage to sell the car. So, people don't actually participate in this for the hopes of getting rich, I see. Thanks for the answers. You should Google what really happens to winnings on gamma shows. You'll find out a lot of the time that the people who win cars and other vehicles don't even have the money to afford the taxes on them. It's not really winning something for free when you have to pay all of the taxes. Did they ever cut and redo a shot? For instance, does Pat ever mess up what he's saying and have to redo it? Does Pat have a teleprompter? They did a couple of reshoots during the whole taping day, but not because Pat stumbled over his words. The only teleprompter Pat has is the digital scoreboard off stage, which you'll notice him looking at frequently when he does his spiel between rounds. This is where he's getting all of the information about whose turn it is, how much each contestant has won, their prizes, etc. Aside from that, he's just making up his jokes and banter on the fly, and is really funny, and makes you feel very at ease under the bright studio lights. How much time does it take to complete an episode? Are you in the studio for hours? I was in the studio from 7:30 AM to 6:45 PM. We ran a little late due to technical difficulties. My show was the last of 6 being filmed that day, so I was in it for the long haul. Other contestants got to go home after their episodes were done. Barring no unforeseen glitches, the episode films more or less in real time, though my episode took probably 40 to 45 minutes to film because of a couple of production/technical glitches. Awesome. Are you going on the trip? Is there a deadline for when you have to go? I plan to. We have between 100 to 365 days from our edit to take the trip, but I've heard from other recent contestants that they are being a little more lenient on the far end of that range because of the ongoing pandemic situation. I'm tentatively planning to go take the trip in January 2021, my birthday, which should also hopefully be enough time for the pandemic to subside. I'm able to reschedule at least once if needed. Is Sajak really 5 minutes and 10 seconds? I'm not buying it. Also, any insight into the Pat Vanner affair thing appreciated. I think he's a little shorter than that. I'm 5'6" and didn't feel that much shorter when I stood next to him during the bonus round. I've got nothing to contribute as far as any alleged affairs. Petil, they only get shorter contestants on Wheel of Fortune, so Pat looks like he's taller than he is. Congrats on the big wins. Who pays for the trip? Is it donated by the sponsor? Which hotel in the Barbados? Is the car given to you by BMW Corporate or a local dealership? I've always been curious about these brand partnerships with the show. Is Pat Sajak as nice as they say he is? The trip is paid for by the production company. I just provide them with my desired travel dates, which have to be between 100 to 365 days from the edit, and cannot include holiday/blackout dates. I'll be staying at the Crane. The car is coming from a local dealership in LA and will be driven up to my home in Santa Cruz on the Central Coast. Pat is really amiable, quick-witted, and funny. He makes you feel very at ease under the bright studio lights. What kind of interactions did you have with the other contestants? What were they like? We, the 18 contestants filming that day, hung out together in the studio all day. We were all there since 7:30 AM. Then we all left after our shows were filmed. I was the very last one out at 6:45 PM. When we weren't being briefed by the staff, filling out paperwork, or having our hair and makeup done, we had a lot of time to hang out, chill, and shoot the shit while the other contestants were filming their episodes. Without getting into too much detail, let's just say that I felt worse for trouncing George than I did for trouncing Chad. Chad was a douche. And I've never watched more Wheel and Jeopardy in my life than I have in the last month. #RIPSPORTS. Is Vanna nice as she seems? She is legitimately one of the authentically sweetest human beings I've ever met. She actually came into the green room when we were getting our morning production briefing just to wish us all good luck. She was in street clothes and hadn't done hair/makeup yet. How much did luck contribute? Is your brain weird? Did you watch Endless Price of Right to prepare? Luck definitely played a factor. I'd almost argue it was an equal split between luck and skill that got me my decisive win. I spun the wheel a total of 13 times during the game and never hit a single penalty space. If my math is correct, the chances of this happening are only about 12%. I would definitely say my brain is a little weird, especially after a somewhat obsessive amount of practice with the mobile game. I didn't watch a bunch of Price is Right prepare, but I do still love that show quite a bit. What skills/talents of yours would you attribute part or all of your success to? Like, what traits/skills/characteristics might make one successful at the Wheel of Fortune game? Puzzle solving skills are huge. Playing the mobile game for about 10 to 15 hours a week in the month leading up to taping was pretty critical. As a singer/performer, I already had a stage presence and voice projection/diction that the casting team likes to see, and a somewhat easier time being on a brightly lit stage, since I'm already accustomed to it. That, and genuine enthusiasm for yourself and others makes for a good contestant. How much did the BMW cost in maintenance? Which BMW? Don't know yet. I won't take possession of the car for about another 4 months or so. It's a brand new 2020 Extra crossover SUV. How was the food? Wasn't too bad, actually. Some really good bagels and sandwiches from a local deli that the studio has been using for years. Plus a fridge full of soft drinks and a table full of snacks that we could help ourselves to all day. Did they have Coke and Pepsi or were they loyal to one brand? There was a pretty wide variety in the fridge. I think they are more concerned about happy contestants than brand loyalty. Do you think the wheel is rigged? Always seems to catch people at the worst time. Absolutely not. The wheel itself is much smaller than I imagined. 5 to 6 feet in diameter, but weighs over 2,200 pounds. There's no way to aim it, or otherwise try to control its movement. You just reach over, grab a spoke, with the thumbs up technique the production staff teaches you. Pull towards you, and push away with vigor. The rest is all up to fate at that point. I was on the show in 2011. I was shocked how heavy the wheel was. Right. Definitely threw me for a loop, as did the size of the puzzle board. I didn't expect it to be that big in real life. Have you always been a fan? Have you tried to get on for years and it just finally worked out? Or was this all sort of just random in its design? Any other shows you have been on, or attempted to join? Congrats on the win. I've been watching Wheel since I was about 2 years old. My parents credited for teaching me how to read, and they will attest to me waddling around the house saying I'd like to buy a vowel as a toddler. I think this was only the second or third time that I had attempted to audition via a Wheel mobile event, and it just happened to work. I'm also a huge fan of Jeopardy, and have made it to callback editions for that show twice. I still plan on trying to make it on Jeopardy, but I just have to wait something like 12 to 18 months before I'm eligible. How much does Chad hate you? Haven't had any contact with him since the show. Didn't even get to say good game or anything to him, since I was the last one out of the studio that day. I suspect there may be a bit of animosity. If there is, I suspect that it's all on him. You seem like a nice dude. Congrats on your loot haul. What happened? His mom named him Chad. Chad was on my right, so I always took my turns after him. Anytime he had an unlucky wheel spin, or called a bad letter, the puzzle would pass to me. Once I got a control of a puzzle, I literally never let it go. Also, the whole bit about him making fun of my height prior to taping. Does Wheel ever bring champions back for special rounds the way Jeopardy does? Maybe if they don't, you can suggest it. They used to have a returning champion format back in the 80s/90s. If you won, you got to return, up to 5 days. A lot of people on the internet have clamored for a tournament of champions for wheel, but it's never happened. I'm definitely willing to spearhead the effort, since there have been numerous contestants in recent history that people would love to see again. Why do some contestants spend money buying vowels when the puzzle is pretty much already solved? It seems that they are just throwing away money, and it's infuriating. If you truly don't know the puzzle, and there are some vowels still left in the puzzle, buying one of them is the safest thing to do, as you are far more likely to get a correct vowel than a correct consonant. The secret to big winnings, aside from luck on the wheel, is to never relinquish control of the puzzle. Do you like this type of video? If so, subscribe now, like the video and turn on notifications.